Can I just say before we start, I find it absolutely hilarious right now that both Rosevere and Liam, two of my best friends, are live on the Argyle Way at the moment, reacting to the third kit, which I've just seen, and also the Swindon pre-season game from yesterday. But anyway, welcome everybody to what is finally Predictions Week. Finally, the season starts on Friday. It starts on Friday. And before I do all my predictions coming for this week I've got to do the embarrassing, impossible, annoying thing first by reacting to what I put last season. Something I haven't been able to do yet this summer, but here we are now. I've got to finally do it from all 5 of the main leagues, the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League Two, and the National League. I've also discovered that this setting here on StreamYard is now officially my favourite. It's so funny because I've got Harvey and Liam are on the backgrounds on my phone at the moment, which is absolutely hilarious. It's written in the stars at this point, isn't it? But no, obviously, I love the lads. At the end of the day. But no, I knew I needed to make this video at some point, and here we are now. So I guess we're going to go straight into it. I'm really bricking myself for this, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah. Anyway, we will start. Usually, now, if you're going to go from a normal journalist or Sky Sports or etc. point of perspective, you would start with reacting to the Premier League first or reacting to the National League first and work your way up. But as this is a Plymouth Argyle fan channel, I know I have a huge soft spot for Chelsea, of course, because they're my favourite Premier League team through my dad. So they're obviously my other favourite team. But anyway, obviously, as this is mainly a Plymouth Argyle fan channel, and as you all know, the typical catchphrase, up the Janners, up the Greens, up the Argyle, up the Pilgrims, up the Plymouth. Come on, you boys in green. We will be starting with reacting to League One. First of all, of anything, we will be starting by reacting to League One for what I put for League One, which is going to be very, very, very exciting indeed. There were some, actually, I thought that I didn't do too bad in, and then there were others that, well, I had absolute stinkers. But that's not just for League One. It's for the Premier League, it's for the Championship, it's for League Two, it's for the National League, it's for all of them. It is literally for all of them. And I'm going to be very, very bricking myself for some of this because I know I had some absolute awful predictions, total disastrous predictions along the way. But we will start with League One. We will start with League One because obviously that's the league that Plymouth Argyle, our football club, have just been promoted from to get into the EFL Championship. And yeah, let's get straight to it. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to look up the actual table itself on what happened from last season, of course. And then I'm going to look at my notes on how I did, this season for last season for predictions. So I'm getting all my words mixed up here, but there we are. It's good to be back on stream. That's all I can say with that, really. It is good to be back on stream. So here is the League One table. We're going to start at the bottom, and then I'm going to work my way up to the top. That is how it's going to go for every single league I'm doing for this. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, here we go then. Here we go. So now is that showing? That's my actual predictions itself, if you can see that. But yeah, I'll just explain how I did and all that along the way, and see where I went right, see where I went wrong, all that jazz, etc. All that jazz. So yeah, here we go. So as you can see, bottom was Forest Green Rovers at the end. My bottom, I'm going to get it up now. My bottom was Fleetwood. I had an absolute stinker for this one. And the reason being, now look at the 21-22 table. Once I get it up. Look how Fleetwood survived over Gillingham. It was on goal difference on how they survived. They nearly went down to League Two. And instead, Fleetwood have continued into League One for another season, keeping their continuity with being in League One for another season. They're in it again for this season. I got this awfully wrong because of this scraping survivalness from the season before. I had Fleetwood to do appallingly. I had Fleetwood to do absolutely appallingly. You know what? I'll actually put as a banner. I'll actually put as a banner for the time being, so it reminds you all regardless anyway. I'm not going to change the colour and all that, but I'm going to create a banner. I'm just going to put down what I basically put for the time being. But yeah, I had Fleetwood to come 24th last season. An absolute stinker of a prediction, that is. Fleetwood finished 13th at the end. They had a cracking first season under Scott Brown. I think that's where I went awfully wrong, because Scott Brown has proved to himself that he's been a really underrated manager last season. I went awfully wrong with this, awfully wrong. I thought Fleetwood were finally going to be in League Two for this season, but they've proved me wrong massively. No, Fleetwood surprised me a little bit, to be honest, finishing in that bang-ass mid-table 13th. So there we go. Already into this video, 11 and a half minutes into this stream, I have had an absolute stinker of a prediction. So there we have it. Not a good start, but we're going to move on from that anyway. But yeah, I had Fleetwood for 24th. Forest Green ended up coming 24th. Now, 23rd, in 23rd place was Accrington Stanley. I will now get up who I had to finish 23rd, if you can see my photos there. My 23rd was Port Vale, another one that I got wrong at the end. Let's just read the comment section. Leeds win a win again away to Hearts. That's a very good win for Leeds there. Very good win for Leeds there. Fair play to them. But no, I had Port Vale to finish in 23rd place. Awfully wrong again. Well, not exactly awful like Fleetwood, because Port Vale did finish 18th at the end. So it could be a lot worse. Could be better, though. Accrington Stanley finished 23rd at the end. But we'll get on to Aki in a minute, because I didn't do too bad with Accrington Stanley, which I will tell you in a minute. But yeah, my 23rd was Port Vale, which went awfully wrong. I thought they'd go straight back down again, if you want to put it that way, from winning that playoffs from League Two, from 21-22. Didn't quite happen. Port Vale have survived. They were even chasing playoffs at one stage during the season when we got to December. And I was there looking at my table thinking, I have so got this awfully wrong, haven't I? And Port Vale did, just like Fleetwood, prove me wrong, and Port Vale did stay up at the end. So yeah, honestly, fair play to them. Fair freaking play to them. Port Vale coming 18th for the end. I had them 23rd. Again, another wrong prediction. Now, moving on to 22nd. Now, I got this absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. It was Morecambe that finished 22nd. And indeed, it was Morecambe who I predicted to finish 22nd. Look at that. Look at that. As you can see there, Morecambe to finish 22nd place I had. It ended up being absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. I don't think it... I've just checked my phone for the time being. I don't think it is showing my notes for the time being. But oh well, it is what it is. I'll try and find a way to present that. But yeah, I did have Morecambe 22nd. This is the first one I got absolutely spot on. I'll see if I can try and share screen it. Bear with me a second, guys. No, it doesn't show. It doesn't show. Oh, actually, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right, there you go, guys. There you go, guys. But yeah, no, I had Morecambe to come 22nd, and that absolutely was spot on at the end. So yeah, I predicted Morecambe to go down last season after scraping survival the season before. That's exactly what happened. And yeah, Morecambe ended up going down. Morecambe ended up going down. Yeah, I got that completely spot on. And Derek Adams, once again, proving to himself, absolutely proving to himself that he is basically borderline League One, League Two. if you want to put it that way. 21st was MK Dons at the end. My 21st. So MK Dons finished 21st at the end. MK Dons having a disastrous season, going now back in League Two. My 21st was... I'm going to get rid of the banner, actually. I'm going to get rid of the banner. There's no point having that, especially that I've figured out what to do with that notes pad I had, sharing my screen wise. Yeah, my 21st was Accrington Stanley. So I predicted Accrington Stanley to go down this last season anyway. Then losing Colby Bishop to Portsmouth, losing Matt Butcher to us, Argyle. Aki finished second bottom at the end. But either way, I predicted Aki to go down regardless, but to finish in 21st. And ahead of Morecambe, Port Vale and Fleetwood. And I did have the 3 red Lancashire clubs all to go down, but only 2 of them went down. Fleetwood absolutely stayed up at the end and finished in mid-table. But yeah, Stanley I had 21st. They finished 23rd. So I'll take that, considering I predicted them to go down anyway. And that's exactly what happened regardless. So yeah, John Coleman will be in League Two for this season. Not a good season for the Lancashire club, one bit. So that moves us on to 20th place. As you can see from my face there, I definitely need a shave. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, 20th was Cambridge. 20th was Cambridge at the end. Well, I had Cambridge to stay up regardless, so that went to plan, but I didn't have Cambridge to finish in 20th place. My 20th at the end, my 20th was Forest Green, which was another stinker. And the reason why I had Forest Green to go down, no, sorry, not to go down, to stay up miraculously as well, was because I thought they would basically prove all the odds and bookies wrong by staying up. I know them losing Rob Edwards didn't help one bit. They lost Nicky Cadden to Bardsley. Another blow there for Forest Green. In fact, I'm going to keep this up as it is anyway, because it's just so much easier. It shows the positions as it is anyway. So yeah, no, yeah, 20th I had Forest Green, and they ended up finishing rock bottom. A total season to forget for the vegan club at the end. Not gone to plan for them one bit. Not gone to plan for them one bit at all. Forest Green went straight back down, and they will be in League Two for 23-24. And yeah, it just didn't work for them one bit, League One last season. And it was disastrous for them, because they could have at least given it a go, but they didn't. They just didn't. And Forest Green proved to have one of the worst League One seasons probably you could ever imagine. Total shambles at the end. 19th. Now, in 19th position was Oxford. A total disastrous season for Oxford. Very underachieving for Oxford as well. My 19th was Cheltenham. Forest Green's Gloucestershire neighbours. I thought Cheltenham... so basically, Cheltenham had Michael Duff the season before and finished in 15th place in the table. A brilliant first season back for League One for Cheltenham, as they proved then. They lost Michael Duff in the summer and then signed Wade Elliott as their new manager. Michael Duff, of course, moving to Bardsley. Now Michael Duff is in the championship with Swansea. I had Cheltenham to finish 16th at the end. Actually, no. Wait, I don't know why it says that, because no, sorry, what am I talking about? I got it all mixed up then. I was going to say, Cheltenham finished 16th at the end. I had them 19th. God, that really confused me then, looking at those notes. But either way, yeah, 19th I had Cheltenham. They finished 16th at the end. So Cheltenham only finishing a position below the season before. So basically, a successful season for the Robins. And of course, they've proved themselves to be in League One for another season. I think it could be more tricky for them, though, because Alfie May has just moved to Charlton Athletic. Wade Elliott is still their boss, though, either way. But I think this season they could be battling for survival yet again. But Cheltenham ended up come in 16th at the end. A brilliant season, really, for Cheltenham, or I should say a successful season for them. Having draws such as, they had brilliant draws, of course, against Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. We beat them, so another factor on why we won the title. But yeah, Cheltenham I had 19th. They finished 16th at the end. So I guess I was only 3 off, so it could have been worse. Next is 18th. Now, finishing 18th was Port Vale. I had Cambridge to finish 18th. Now, Cambridge reminds me of Cheltenham. They both remind me of similarly in a way, because they both had very decent seasons coming back up from League Two in 21-22, finishing around that top half of the bottom half of the table, with Cheltenham finishing 15th, Cambridge finishing 14th. I had both of them to struggle a bit more last season, which turned out to be the case. But I had Cambridge to finish higher because of seeing that Mark Bonner was still their manager. And I know Cambridge fans and Mark Bonner, they love the club. So fair play to them on that. I thought Cambridge were going to go down for parts of mid-table. For parts of the midway part of the season. Especially in January when they got battered 5-1 by Shrewsbury. 5-1 by Shrewsbury. I really thought Cambridge had it at that time. But Cambridge pulled off the great escape. If you're watching this, Alfie, obviously, what a season that ended up being for you guys. And of course, well, Cambridge have pulled off a brilliant escape and will be in League One for another season. I had Cambridge to finish 18th. They finished in 20th. So I guess it's not too bad of a prediction. So I guess they were near abouts at that time. Moving on to 17th. Bristol Rovers finished 17th at the end, but my 17th was the scum. That is right, Exeter City Football Club. Now, the reason why... Now, a lot of people had Exeter to go down at the start of 22-23. Personally, I didn't see it happening, and that was mainly because I thought the teams I had below Exeter to be a lot worse. And to be fair to the scum, they proved themselves by finishing in 14th place, basically mid-table, and they have overachieved. Their aim was to stay in the league, which is exactly what they did, and then they finished mid-table. So yeah, Exeter finished 14th at the end. Not a bad prediction, I guess, considering I had Exeter 17th. I just thought Exeter, and likewise with Bristol Rovers, would both do a lot better than Port Vale and Forest Green, which turned out to be the case for the actual table in itself. But again, only 3 positions difference. So I guess not too bad. I mean, at the start of the season, Exeter were right in the top half of the table, around 7th or 8th, and I was there thinking, they've really overachieved. I've got this wrong completely. But a lot of people had scum to go down. I didn't think they would because I thought there were 4 worse teams than them. Hence why I had Fleetwood, Port Vale, Morecambe and Accrington Stanley down. And only one of them was better than Exeter last season, and that was Fleetwood, of course. So yeah, I guess not a bad prediction, but could be better. 16th, Cheltenham finished 16th, and my 16th was Lincoln. Lincoln had a season to forget for 21-22, finishing in 17th place, surviving at the end. And of course, the season before, they lost the playoff final to Blackpool. But Lincoln have impressed me for parts of last season. I had them 16th. They finished in 11th. Back at mid-table, the Imps are. And now I feel like they're going to push for playoffs at least this season. So, and with Mark Kennedy now in charge, this could be something new for the Imps. So, yeah, Lincoln, I thought Lincoln would be bang on mid-table, just below the true mid-table, 12th, 13th. I had Lincoln to finish 16th. Lincoln ended up finishing 11th. So, yeah, not a very solid season for Mark Kennedy's side, in my opinion. And they have impressed me, to be fair. I had them to finish top half. But not in my midway predictions, I had them to finish top half in 10th place. So I guess that was near enough. Near enough, at least. But yeah, they have surprised me a bit. but they've done well. They've done well for themselves. 15th was Burton, but my 15th was Shrewsbury. So 2 West Midlands clubs there. But yeah, no, honestly, Shrewsbury, my 15th was Shrewsbury. Again, like Lincoln, I thought they'd do better than the season before, considering the season before they struggled, finishing in 18th place, and they were battling relegation for parts of 21-22. But this time out, they proved to be much better, finishing mid-table in 12th place. Steve Cotterill making that side a lot better. I had them 15th, though. So I guess not too bad at the end. However, Shrewsbury, I think, will be in for a tough season this season because Steve Cotterill has unexpectedly left the club. They've got a new manager in Matt Taylor. So it's going to be very interesting for them. Matty Taylor, as I should say, actually. Similar enough, I guess. But yeah, no, I had Shrewsbury to survive at the end, no problem. But yeah, Matt Taylor will be the new Salop boss for this season coming. God knows how they're going to do. And you'll find out this week with my League One predictions. I'll tell you that now. But yeah, I had Shrewsbury 15th and they finished 12th. Now, my 14th, so Exeter finished 14th at the end, but my 14th was Burton. I thought Burton would be bang on mid-table, just like the season before when they finished 16th. I thought I got it completely wrong at the start because I thought I got it completely wrong at the start because if you remember, Burton had such a dreadful, appalling start to the season. And by January, it looked like they were going down to League Two. But Dino Mamria has produced an incredible second half of the season. And selling Victor Adebayo, their main striker, to Bolton really proved to be the right decision for the Brewers. And honestly, fair play to Burton because that was an incredible second half of the season that they produced. And I ended up one off at the end because I predicted Burton to finish 14th and they finished 15th. So I really did not think that would happen in January. But here we are now. They did actually do it. They were near enough. But yeah, I really thought Burton would be one of my stinkers, but they actually ended up being one of my best predictions out there. So I had Burton 14th. They finished 15th. So yeah, a cracking second half of the season for the Brewers. Now, speaking about stinkers, we move on to probably my biggest stinker of the entire League One campaign. So, Fleetwood finished 13th at the end, and my 13th was, drum roll please, my 13th was Barnsley. This proved to be an absolute howler from me. Now, the reason why I had Barnsley to finish in 13th place was because the season before, their championship campaign, finishing rock bottom below Derby's points deduction, they were absolutely appalling. And I just didn't see them coming back one bit. So I had them bang on mid-table. I really didn't think they'd do well last season. But Michael Duff, and I didn't know what the challenge would be for Michael Duff to go from Cheltenham to a relegated championship side in Barnsley. But Michael Duff completely proved me wrong last season. Barnsley finished 4th at the end, an excellent season for the Tykes, narrowly losing that playoff final to South Yorkshire rivals Sheffield Wednesday. This and Fleetwood, definitely my 2 biggest stinkers. And there's another stinker coming. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, no, Barnsley was an absolute stinker for me at the end. I had them 13th. They ended up finishing in 4th. A brilliant season for them, despite having that Wembley heartbreak. And also, it's going to be tougher for them now this season with the fact that Michael Duff has departed the club for Swansea to take on a championship challenge himself and join Stephen Schumacher, Kieran McKenna and Darren Moore in the championship to battle it out again. Oh, wait, sorry. Darren Moore is not at Sheffield Wednesday anymore. So, yeah. Oh, dear. To be fair, I do feel bad for the Wednesday fans for that because I knew they wanted to keep it. However, at the same time, I don't because there were some of their fans out there wanted him gone even before the playoff final began and even before us and Ipswich got promoted. So there we go. But yeah, no, I had Barnsley to finish 13th. It went horribly wrong. They finished 4th. Yeah, disastrous prediction. Total disastrous prediction. Which moves me on to who I had to finish 12th. 12th place at the end was Shrewsbury. My 12th place was Charlton. Now, Charlton, I thought last season, would just not improve from their 13th place at all. I thought they'd be stuck up mid-table yet again. I didn't have them improving one bit, and I thought they'd only improve by one position. I thought they'd bang on mid-table again and be in typical League One for another season. To be fair, Charlton did finish mid-table at the end, but finished in 10th, higher than what I thought, because I did have Charlton to finish 12th. Didn't quite work out at the end. The Addicts finished 10th at the end, so I guess it could have been a lot better for me, but could have been a lot worse for me at the same time as well. So I guess it wasn't too bad of a prediction for me to predict the Addicts to come 12th, to end up finishing 10th. But it is what it is. When we get to my League One predictions this week, I personally think Charlton's going to be a lot stronger, but you'll find out where I have them. So yeah, 12th I had Charlton. They ended up finishing 10th. My 11th was Wickham. So again, 2 positions up, because I had Charlton to finish in 12th and they finished in 10th. My 11th was Wickham and they did finish in 9th. Lincoln came 11th at the end. A fairly solid season for the Imps, of course. But yeah, I had Wickham to come 11th. I thought they wouldn't do as well as the season before, finishing in 6th in the playoffs, losing that playoff final to Sunderland, of course. But yeah, no, honestly, again, not a bad prediction, I guess. Not a bad prediction. Because I just didn't think they'd be that strong at that point. By the time Christmas and January came, I thought they'd be nailed on playoffs again, in a way. But then Gareth Ainsworth departed the club for QPR. And then Matt Bloomfield, I haven't rated him last season at all. And I don't know if he's going to have a cracking season for the Chairboys either. I really don't know. I think it's a bit uncertain for Wickham this season, but we'll see. We'll see. I had Wickham 11th and they finished in 9th. So again, 2 off and 2 above at the same time as well. My 10th place was my surprise at the season. My 10th place was Bristol Rovers. They finished in 17th at the end. So not the best of predictions at all. The team that came 10th at the end was Charlton. Bristol Rovers. Now, I was impressed with their summer transfer window last time out. And I thought Joey Barton would surprise the league in a way. And that's why I had them 10th. Bristol Rovers were my surprise of the season. And I thought they would be a surprise of the season. As I expected there to be a surprise of the season somewhere. But not quite. In parts of the table, I didn't think it was that bad of a prediction. Considering that they were hovering just below the playoffs for the time being. But no, Rovers finished 17th at the end after a terrible end of the season running for them. But no, I had the gas to finish 10th. It didn't quite work out for them at all. They finished in 17th. 7 places off. Not quite what I went for. Not quite what it went for at the end. My 9th place. My 9th place was MK Dons, which was another terrible prediction. But to be honest, it wasn't too bad considering a lot of people had MK Dons to either be around that position or be in the playoffs yet again. But losing Scott Twine and Harry Darling proved to be a very, very, very costly manoeuvre for the Dons. And MK Dons find themselves back in League Two for 23-24. And I'll tell you what, from an Argyle perspective, it's karma for the way they thrashed us 5-0 at the end of 21-22. But no, Wickham came 9th at the end. They're Buckinghamshire rivals. But yeah, I had MK Dons to do worse than the season before, with them getting rid of Scott Twine and Harry Darley. But Liam Manning was still their manager at the time. But again, I just, I didn't think they'd go down, if you want to put it that way. I don't think a lot of people thought they'd go down. But yeah, this proved to be a stinker of a prediction. MK Dons had a disastrous season last time out. And there you are. I predicted them 9th. They finished in 21st. Awful prediction. Absolutely awful prediction. But I think a lot of people went similarly enough for that one. 8th. My 8th was Derby. Derby finished in 7th at the end. The actual 8th place was Portsmouth. A team that completely bottled playoffs, in my opinion, from last season. And made 2 positions up from where they finished last time out in 10th place. But yeah, now the reason why I had Derby to finish in 8th place was because I wasn't sure if League One was going to be a piece of piss for them, if you want to put it that way. I knew they signed David McGoldrick. I knew they signed Conor Hourihane. Again, brilliant signings for them. I saw Wayne Rooney depart at the club. Liam Rosenia was the manager at the start, and then came Paul Warne. But with the way the season before went for the Rams, I just didn't think Derby would go straight back up. I just did, and I just thought the competition was going to be a bit too strong in a way. I was close enough because Derby did narrowly miss the playoffs at the end by finishing in 7th place, losing that playoff position to Peterborough on the last day. But no, my 8th place was Derby. They finished 7th place, only a position above, so I guess not too bad at all. So yeah, I guess I was close. As you can see from that picture, I only got 2 clubs spot on. One of them was Morecambe. The other one we're going to get to when I get there. So moving on to my 7th place, just missing out on the playoffs. My 7th place was Oxford. Oxford ended up finishing an underperforming, shocking 19th place at the end. Only just surviving and could have been in League 2 for 23-24. This was one of my stinker of predictions because Oxford narrowly missed out on the playoffs last time out, just like us. They finished in 8th. We finished in 7th. And I knew they were battling with playoffs the whole time. So I expected Oxford to be a bit similar this time. It didn't quite work out for them. Carl Robinson was gone at the end. Liam Manning came in. He saved the club from going into League 2. But this was a stinker of a prediction for me because I really thought Oxford would well and truly be up there again. Yeah, not quite what I went for. But yeah, I had Oxford 7th at the end. They finished 19th. Derby was the team that actually finished 7th at the end. But yeah, along with Fleetwood and Barnsley, this was one of my stinker of predictions for League One last time out. So yeah, that didn't go to plan at all. So moving on to my playoff spots. Now, interestingly enough, about the top 6 I had from last season, at one stage of last season, no matter what particular order it was in, these were actually the top 6. These were actually the top 6 from, well, for a little bit of last season. But obviously it didn't happen at the end because my top 6 included Pompey, which didn't happen at the end because Pompey finished 8th. In fact, this top 6 in no particular order is actually spot on, except for Pompey, because Barnsley finished in the top 6 at the end and Pompey didn't. But the other 5 I had all finished in the top 6 at the end. So I guess that's not too bad, to be fair. I will take that in all honesty. So yeah, no, fair play. But the team I had in 6th place was Portsmouth. It didn't quite happen at the end. Pompey finished in 8th at the end, completely blowing playoffs last season. Danny Cowley getting sacked around the new year. John Messinio coming in. They looked like they were on the charge again for parts of the second half of the season after an incredible August and September. But it all went downhill after they lost 3-2 to Ipswich at Portman Road. And then Pompey couldn't quite match the consistencies of Derby, Peterborough, Barnsley, and Bolton from the end of last season. And to be fair to Barnsley, they were chasing the top 3 for the majority of that anyway. But yeah, it proved to be a disappointing season for the Hampshire club at the end for our so-called dockyard rivals. But yeah, I had Pompey to finish 6th. It didn't quite happen. They finished in 8th. 2 positions below where I had them. So, yeah, and they will be in League One for another season. They've got work to do under Basidio again. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens regarding that. But, yeah, not quite the prediction I went for. But, again, my top 6 is spot on in no particular order, except for Pompey. If only I had Barnsley to finish 6th, I would be a very happy bunny right now. But it didn't quite happen. It didn't quite happen. I had Pompey 6th. They finished in 8th. And the team that actually finished 6th at the end was Peterborough, who obviously picked Derby to playoffs last season. And coincidentally, 2 teams that went down from the Championship in 21-22. My next team was absolutely spot on. I had Bolton to finish in 5th place, and that is exactly what happened. Bolton Wanderers, Ian Evans' side, did indeed finish in 5th in League One last time out. I got this club absolutely spot on last season. They finished in 9th the season before, and I thought Ian Evans would build on that, especially how brilliant their second half of 21-22 really was. And yeah, a very solid season for Bolton. Unfortunately, winning that Papa John's trophy over us 4-0, obviously a day to forget for us boys in green. But obviously, from a Bolton point of view, that was absolutely incredible from them. Bolton finishing 5th, comfortably in the playoffs at the end, although disappointingly losing the playoff semi-finals to Barnsley. But I'd say a very progressive season for Bolton and their fans, and I reckon they're going to be one of the favourites for this season in League One. So they could be in for a really enjoyable season, Ian Evans' side, but who knows. The only thing I got wrong from this prediction was that I predicted Bolton to be the playoff winners from last season. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. The playoff winners at the end were indeed Sheffield Wednesday. But, yeah, no, I had Bolton to go up via the playoff final, and I had Bolton to beat Ipswich in the playoff final, which didn't quite happen. So, basically, in my predictions, I had Bolton to beat Peterborough in the playoff semi-finals, and I had Ipswich to beat Portsmouth in the playoff semi-finals, and I had it down as a Bolton-Ipswich final, Bolton to win it, but no, that didn't happen at all, because Sheffield Wednesday won the playoff final instead. But despite that, I did predict Bolton to come 5th regardless, and the Trotters did come 5th at the end of the day, so I will take that any day of the week for a prediction. So yeah, get in. My fourth place was the Posh. My 4th place was Peterborough. The team that ended up coming 4th at the end was Barnsley. So the team that I had lowest to finish out of the relegated Championship sides actually ended up finishing the highest. So fair play to Barnsley on that. But no, Peterborough did finish playoffs at the end, like I predicted them to be. They finished in 6th. And I had Peterborough to challenge for the league regardless anyway at the start of the last season because Grant McCann was in charge. And I knew he proved it a couple of seasons before with Hull when they won the league. But Peterborough had a really inconsistent season. Grant McCann being sacked, of course, midway through the season. And they reappointed none other than Darren Ferguson to come back for the Posh. Peterborough pipping Derby to the playoffs at the end. But no, this prediction, I did get wrong, but only by 2 positions. The only thing I got right was that I did think Peterborough would finish in the playoffs. And they did. They finished in 6th place. I had them to finish 4th. But yeah, a very inconsistent but otherwise not bad season for Peterborough. They'll want to do better this time out, but I think the competition is going to be really, really intense for them for this season coming. But we'll see what happens when opening day starts next weekend. Next weekend when it is back. It will be back. Football coming back. Now, the top 3 was actually the top 3 at the end, just in the wrong order. So we'll go through all of them in one go, actually. My 3rd place was Ipswich. My 2nd place was us boys in green, the mighty Plymouth Argyle. And my champions was Sheffield Wednesday. But Sheffield Wednesday finished 3rd but it was all in the wrong order. Sheffield Wednesday finished third, Ipswich finished second, and we were League One champions. Absolutely incredible, of course, at the end of the day. And of course, last season, from an Argyle perspective, a season I will never, ever, ever forget. That day, April the 29th, 2023, drink it in again while you can. And I don't care if this season next week with a hard test in the Championship is about to start. I will keep celebrating our championship in League One, no matter what. And our club, I feel, is on the up right now. It's really exciting. I'm really excited for this season on how we're going to tackle the Championship. Honestly, anywhere from 21st to first place, I will be very happy for this season for Plymouth Argyle. But we'll get on to us in a minute. My third place was Ipswich. They finished second at the end. And again, I've got to give credit to Ipswich because they pushed us all the way. We pushed each other all the way last season at the end. And in fact, Ipswich were top of the league before we were. And I've also thought Connor Chaplin was the best player in the league, personally. They've had so many standout players. Mr. C commenting there, well deserved from ITFC. Again, us two teams were the two best teams in the league at the end. Now, the reason why I had Ipswich to finish third, though, in my predictions, was because I knew they finished 11th the season before, and I was there thinking, why are so many people... are so many people predicting Ipswich to finish so high just because of their club size? That's what I was thinking at this time last year. But I saw that, of course, when Kieran McKenna came into the club, he had improved the team massively. And again, last season completely showed it. But considering the way I knew we wanted revenge from the season before, and I knew Sheffield Wednesday wanted revenge from the season before, that's why I had Ipswich to miss out on automatics and be playoffs. So I had Ipswich to finish playoffs at least. There were a few people actually that predicted Ipswich to finish outside of the playoffs again, but that didn't happen at the end. Ippy came second last time out in League One. A superb season for the Tractor Boys. Honestly, if you're an Ipswich fan watching this right now, you should be very excited right now because your team are incredible right now. And, well, I've got us to do absolutely fine this season, but I've got Ipswich to do really well this season coming as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both of our clubs are going to do in the Championship. And both of us well and truly deserve promotion. I know we were the best team in the league at the end by winning the league, but Ipswich, I'll tell you what, proved and produced some quality standout players like Leif Davis, Sam Morsey and Connor Chaplin, who in my opinion, well, Connor Chaplin in my opinion was the best player in the league personally. Absolutely, totally ripped the league apart in my honest opinion. And yeah, thoroughly deserved promotion for Ipswich at the end. And they pushed us all the way. And especially when Port Vale went 1-0 up against us on that last day. And seeing that they were 1-0 up against Fleetwood, I honestly thought they were going to nick the title from us on the last day. But we proved to finally beat our bogey side on that last day, which was incredible for us. And of course, Ipswich drew 2-2 with Fleetwood on the last day. But yeah, a superb season for both of us. I predicted Ipswich third. They came second. I predicted us to finish second. And we finished champions. We finished champions, which was absolutely incredible. But honestly, I was absolutely fed up. I was absolutely fed up with the amount of people that were writing us off before the season began. I know we bottled 21-22 in the worst fashion possible, considering we were around the playoffs and automatic promotion for most of the season before. That at the end of the day, we will forever call Ryan Lowe a snake for leaving our club the way he did to join Preston. But it actually proved to be the complete correct decision at the end because Steven Schumacher is already a club legend after how last season was for our boys in green. A phenomenal season. Honestly, like I said, April the 29th, 2023, genuinely one of the best days of my entire life. I will never, ever, ever forget it. Absolutely superb. Honestly, absolutely superb. And it will forever remain in my memories, honestly. I can't believe how incredible of the season it's honestly been. I know we got rid of Panucci Kamara, one of our standout midfielders, to Ipswich, coincidentally. In my opinion, Kamara was our second best player of 21-22, behind Michael Cooper, who was my keeper of the season in 21-22, of course. And that's me without being biased. He was, again, keeper of the season last season for me, until he got injured at Hillsborough, thanks to Josh Windass. But my keeper of the season last season anyway was James Trafford, in my honest opinion, for Bolton, who's now joining Burnley this season. But yeah, going back to us boys in green, Argyle. I just thought too many people were writing us off. And I just thought the way we missed out on the playoffs, I just thought we wanted revenge. I saw that Kamara was our only departure. And I saw we replaced him with Matt Butcher, who I thought was brilliant for Accrington Stanley regardless. I was really confident in the team. I was really happy with the way our squad was. I just didn't, the only thing being, I just didn't think we would win the league. I didn't think we'd win the league at all, but we did at the end. Absolutely incredible. So, yeah, and the reason why, and I will go on to Sheffield Wednesday now, actually, for this. The reason why I had us two, the top two, was because I thought us two wanted complete revenge from the season before, especially with the way Sheffield Wednesday got knocked out of the playoffs by Sunderland. And Barry Bannon, of course, the season before in 21-22, proving to be the best midfielder in the league. He wasn't the best midfielder in the league, in my opinion, last season, though. That goes to Sam Morsey for Ipswich, in my opinion. But Wednesday, the way I can describe Wednesday's season was absolutely bonkers, if you want to put it that way. They did absolutely blow automatic promotion. And in fact, by the time February came, I really thought I was going to get my top two absolutely spot on, with Wednesday winning the league and us coming second and Ipswich coming third. But Wednesday absolutely blew it from March onwards, absolutely blew it. But they aren't my bottlers of the season, because Wednesday did go up at the end. My bottlers of the season is a competition for me between Portsmouth and Peterborough. But yeah, no, a bonkers season for the Owls. I don't know why that background is showing. So I'm gonna get. I don't know what I need to get rid of that for the time being. Sorry, apologies there, everyone. Hang on, it's just moved. Why has my background changed? Why is StreamYard being a pleb? It's Stevie. Stephen and Nathan have joined the chat. How's it going? Who's changed my freaking background? I didn't even freaking press that. Bear with me a second, guys. I apologise for this. Let me just... Oh, God. There we go. Yeah, apologies for that, everyone. Either way, though, let me just go back to what I was talking about. Freaking hell. Let me just... This is getting a bit out of hand. Hang on a second. My bloody StreamYard's been a pain in the arse. I don't know why. Just bear with me a second. Let me just hide that. Okay, that'll do for now. Let me get... Yeah, that's where we are. Why on earth did that happen? I apologise, everyone. Absolutely raided. I don't know if it's him or not. If he is, he's such a silly prankster. But I you know what? I'm really not that bothered. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Because obviously this week is predictions week, and I will be releasing my predictions from each of the 5 leagues for this season. Also, I am going to release a predictions for the National League South as well, because Torquay got relegated and Yeovil got relegated and Truro got promoted. So we may as well. Now, I can't lie. I didn't think I can see my background here. I was intending to do this stream on my own tonight, I can't lie. But now that Harvey's joined the background, I may as well add him on for the time being.
I didn't know you was doing it on your own. So.
Jesus Christ, that's so loud. That's louder than me. No, because I told Liam that I thought I was going to be doing this on my own tonight. But then, I saw you in the background. I thought I can't be rude, can I? So, but yeah. Anyway, Harvey and Liam have joined for the time being.
I'll edit this.
That's all right. That's all right. For the time being, guys, before I go into the rest of this, how did the Argyle Way stream go at the end?
Yeah, absolutely great.
Pretty decent.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Absolutely great.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, guys, my top 3 was absolutely spot on.
Check your DMs out.
It was the complete wrong way. It was the complete wrong way round because I had Ipswich to come 3rd. They finished in 2nd. I had us to come 2nd. We won the league. And I had, since this will impress the boys as well. This will impress the whole comment section, actually, if you want to put it this way. Wherever it's gone. It's not showing for some reason. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I had Sheffield Wednesday to win the league. And they finished in 3rd. They finished in 3rd, having a bonkers of a season. But yeah.
Come on, Wednesday!
Well, there we go. But if you, the only difference I had was I had Bolton to win the playoff final, but that didn't happen at the end. That did not happen at all.
Don't lie, Stevie. You loved it.
So yeah. Oh well, yeah. Of course he loves it. 876 points. Go on, Stevie. Anyway, that is me reacting to my League One predictions, which now moves us on to the next league. In fact, you both can decide which league I should go on next, the Championship or the Premier League. Which one do you think I should go on to next?
Premier League.
Well, there we go. Liam's already decided for me, so I will try and get that up now. Now for the Premier League, guys, I will say this now. There were actually some statistics I put in this where I had like a goal.
Before you carry on, what was you ranting about your background?
I was just confused. I just saw it. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, this isn't my background right now. So I said to Nathan on the chat for a joke going, I'm probably being raided or something, but I'll change it again if I can. No, fucking hell. This is why I hate StreamYard sometimes, or it's just me being dumb. You know what? I ain't going to bother. I'm just going to leave it like this for the time being. Anyway.
There you go.
We'll stick with that anyway. But yeah, we're on to my Premier League predictions, guys. This is going to be very fun because I had some all right ones, but I also had
your
some
face in the bottom corner. That's class.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know how. I wanted to add it in, but I didn't know how, and I thought Harvey would be busy, so I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll crop it and just put it in the background. So there we go. So yeah, we'll move on to the Premier League then, guys. So my bottom was Bournemouth. That was incredibly wrong. They finished in 15th at the end. 20th at the end was Southampton, their New Forest neighbours. I just thought, basically, out of the 3 clubs that got promoted, I thought the Cherries were going to go straight back down, and the only ones that would go straight back down. But Bournemouth, to be fair to them, they have produced a fairly decent season, I have to be honest. So, honestly, full credit to them. Only difference being Gary O'Neill is now completely gone. They've got a brand new manager for this season. So you'll find out this week where I have predicted them at the end. But yeah, 2 of my relegation spots there I got completely wrong because my 19th was Brentford because I thought they would suffer second season syndrome and selling Christian Eriksen to Manchester United. Brentford finished 9th at the end. So a brilliant season for the Cherries. Fair play to them. Thomas Frank proving to be an absolute quality of a manager. Basically, who did you guys have as your bottom 3? Just out of interest, if you can remember.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
I know I didn't have Nottingham Forest. I did actually have them to survive. I know I did.
Yeah, I had Forest to stay up as well.
I did not have Southampton in the bottom 3. Let's be honest. I'm going to be honest here. I had Everton. I know I had Everton, Bournemouth. That's one of the 2 teams.
Okay, fair enough. So you've gone similar to me, but except Everton instead of Brentford.
I generally thought Everton because they did not strengthen their team at all. They didn't.
Fair enough.
They're getting weaker and weaker and weaker, in my opinion. I do see them getting relegated this season. come in.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I do see them struggling as well, but obviously this week, guys, you will find out where I have predicted Everton in the Premier League this season. But yeah, Brentford I thought would suffer second season syndrome, but and with selling Eriksen, but it didn't happen. They proved to have a cracking of a season. Ivan Toney being one of the players of the season, and full credit to them, honestly. No, brilliant from them. 18th was Southampton. Now, this was Southampton finished 20th at the end. The team that finished 19th at the end, I forgot to say, was Leeds. The team that finished 18th at the end was Leicester. My 18th was Southampton. Now, I was very 50-50 on this because I think for the last 3-4 seasons, I've predicted Southampton to be in the bottom 3. And in my early Premier League predictions, I was there thinking, am I writing them off again? And I had them staying up originally. But then considering I saw the other teams, I was like, no, I'm sorry. I think they're going back down. And this time it ended up being correct. So I'm very, very shell-shocked about that in a way, but also not surprised. So yeah, Southampton will be joining us in the Championship this season. One of the promotion favourites they'll be as well. I had them to finish 18th. They finished 20th, so I had them to go down anyway. So I guess I'll take that. This one I got really close though. My 17th was Leeds. They finished second bottom. Obviously, as a part-time Chelsea fan, I'm freaking delighted Leeds have gone down. So yeah, Leeds finished 19th at the end. I had them 17th. I thought they'd be just about fine. It didn't happen at the end. They will be joining us in the Championship. But yeah, Leeds 17th I had. They finished 19th. Not quite close enough, but I'll take it. This next one, I guess I'm both disappointed and not disappointed with, because my 16th was Fulham. They finished 10th at the end. So a brilliant season for them. Mitrovic, again, like Ivan Toney, having a fantastic season for for another West London club, of course. But yeah, a lot of people were backing Fulham, I remember, to go down. Oh, they're the typical yo-yo club. They'll go straight back down. I just didn't see it happening this time out. And it turned out I was correct from that point of view. But I didn't think they'd finish 10th. Cracking season for Fulham. So, yeah, there we go. Then my 15th was Leicester. I had Leicester to struggle. The team that came 16th at the end, I forgot to say, actually, to remind you, was indeed Nottingham Forest. My 15th was Leicester. The team that actually came 15th was Bournemouth, but Leicester ended up relegated at the end. Now this, and I'm pretty sure everyone will agree with me on this relegation freaking shocked me to the core. I don't know if you both agree with me on that. But I did have them to struggle. But to stay up comfortably with the players they had and all that. But no, we will be playing Leicester this season, and that will be very interesting to watch for sure. Then again, like what Harvey and I were talking about, I had Forest to finish 14th, which they finished 16th, so not too bad for them at all. Only 2 places above. But again, Forest were another team I thought people were just instantly writing off, and with the players I saw they signed and all that, including a certain Jesse Lingard from Manchester United, I thought they'd be absolutely fine. And now they've got bloody Keylor Navas in goal. So what does that tell you?
Well, Keylor Navas has gone back to PSG now.
Oh, has he gone back to PSG now?
It was a loan. It was a loan.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, either way.
If I'm going to add more on top to Nottingham Forest, this is a very, very... that was a very, very good season for them. 2 reasons. They improved their team very, very well. Also due to the fact they bought like over 20 players. But another thing you've got to put into perspective is they bought very smartly as well. Awini coming in, Morgan Gibbs-White, that proved to be a very, very good signing for them. Felipe, that was a right signing. Keylor Navas on a loan was very good.
No, you are correct. You are correct.
They bought very, very good players.
And that's why I thought they'd stay up as well. And I thought they'd give a right go at the Premier League as well for being back after such a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, Forest ended up finishing 16th, so they survived at the end. Their target was to stay up. That's exactly what they did. And then 16th. And then my 13th was Everton, who only stayed up by the edge of their skin by finishing in 17th place. I thought Everton would sort of improve on the season before, but still, again, struggle and be in a relegation dogfight. But it didn't quite happen. Well, it did happen, but I mean, like the position didn't quite happen, of course. But yeah, no, Everton having they were 1 goal away from having a complete nightmare of a season. I thought they'd do a little bit better, but they didn't. Hard times going on at the Goodison Park Club at the moment. And then my 12th place was Brighton. This one really annoyed me in a way because Brighton had probably the best season in their entire history.
This is the best
finishing
season
in 6th place. Yeah, it is the best season in their history. So there we go. The team that finished 13th at the end was Wolves. The team that finished 12th at the end was... That's your reaction sums that up. Yeah, 12th was Chelsea at the end. So that gives you that there, guys. 12th was 12th. Brighton. I had Brighton to finish 12th. It didn't quite happen. I thought they'd be similar to where they were the season before. Only a few positions below. But it didn't quite happen. Brighton having the best season in their entire history. So, yeah, no, honestly, again, fair play to them. And I genuinely expect Robert De Zerbi's team to be up there again this season, wherever I've got them in my predictions as well. I do expect a top half finish from them, so I will say that now. My 11th place was Wolves. I didn't think they'd do as well as the season before, but I thought they'd be in around in mid-table. They did struggle for parts of the season as well, nearly going down, finishing 13th at the end, with appointing Julian Lopetegui as well. So it actually proved to be a little bit of more of a successful season for Wolves at the end, considering the circumstances, considering that it was very overwhelming and they nearly went down. But again, only 2 positions off, so I guess I'll take that. And then my 10th was Aston Villa. I thought they'd improve, but not hugely by much. I thought they'd be bang on mid-table. They finished 7th at the end. They've got Europa League. Again, I've got to say thank you to them because they got Europa League over the team I can't stand. So, yeah, no, again, and I'm Villa, like Brighton, Villa's a very underrated team at the moment. I expect them to be up there this season. I think they've got a crack inside right now, even if they've got a striker up front that none of us are a huge fan of, Ollie Watkins, because he's a legend for that awful club just up the road. Moving on to 9th. My 9th was Crystal Palace. They finished 11th at the end. Again, 2 predictions off, so I guess I'll take that. But I don't know. I mean, like, the reason why I had them 9th was because I thought Vieira was going to be one of the managers of the season. And if I look at my notes again, oh no, it was someone else I had as manager of the season. I'll go on to that after I've predicted who I had champions and all that. But anyway, Crystal Palace I had 9th. Didn't quite happen. They finished in 11th place, but I didn't expect Vieira to get sacked at all because I thought he'd be one of my managers of the season. But there we go. And then we move on to my 8th place, which these two will not like at all. My 8th was Manchester United. And the reason being was because of what happened to them the season before. And I genuinely thought they'd have another season to forget. But the Red Devils and Erik ten Hag completely proved me wrong. Again, a 3rd place finish, a very progressive season. Fair play to them, giving both Man City and Arsenal a run for their money for some of last season, to be fair to them. And yeah, no, honestly, no, fair play to United because I really thought they'd have another nightmare of the season, but they proved me wrong and they've got Champions League yet again. So it really depends now if Erik ten Hag can now build on that progression. And Harvey's just tipped 79p to me to this stream. Thank you very much. He didn't have to, but there we go. But yeah, actually, as you both are part-time United fans, of course. First of all, where did you both have United? Well, technically, because Argyle's your first club in a way. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Part-time may not be the right word, but like the other club. Let's put it that way.
Basically our other club. Yeah.
Yeah, the other club. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. To be fair. Yeah. But yeah, obviously. First of all, where did you both have United at the start of last season? And second of all, how did you feel about this season anyway? Last season, sorry. Anyway.
Well, realistically, I had Man United 5th. And
fair enough.
Not going to lie, I had them 5th. As I did not think they would be easily a better team or a comparable team to the teams that were in the top 4 last season, for example, like Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, and obviously I didn't expect Newcastle to come up the way they did. But for United, our signings that we pulled off as well, I really didn't think that Ten Hag would be able to pull it out of the hat. And he dealt with the Ronaldo. He had to deal with the Ronaldo situation. He had to deal with other situations as well. But he dealt with that very well. And we got to a Carabao Cup final and we got to an FA Cup final. And he got us top 3, which I did not expect at all, which was I'd say that's a brilliant season for us.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
Brilliant season for us and our players. Bringing in Casemiro was one of the signings of the season, no doubt. Lisandro Martinez was easily a brilliant signing as well, and he proved to be one of our best centre backs. Good partnership with Varane. And
it proved to be a brilliant season for United anyway, because there were a lot of top teams that struggled, like us, like Liverpool, and like Tottenham. So again, United have taken full advantage of that as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, honestly, no, fair play to you lot for that one, and. Yeah. I just didn't think they'd improve at all, and the Glazers' ownership and all that.
A lot of people underestimated us.
Yeah, me included. I will admit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, again, United showed they had a very progressive season, a very good season, and their aim now is to build on that for this season coming. Yeah, and you'll all find out where, of course, I've predicted Manchester United Football Club to finish in the Premier League this season.
Obviously from yesterday, we did sign Rasmus Højlund. Obviously, we could have another player coming in Amrabat, another midfielder, and we've already signed Mason Mount and Onana. Yeah, so it's 4 signings it's 4 players that I'm very excited to see if we do sign Amrabat. It would definitely improve.
No, I'd say that's a good signing, to be fair. Have you definitely? I should know this now, but have you definitely signed Onana now to replace De Gea?
Onana literally played the other day.
Oh, fair enough. Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
No, fair play. Well,
and Rasmus Højlund is completely done, and that's around 75 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a 20-year-old who's 1 month younger than me, and he's a striker in Serie A. Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Oh no, definitely. Which moves us on to my top, the top 7 I had. My 7th was Newcastle, who ended up finishing 4th at the end. And again, like United, a superb season for the Geordies. I did expect them to do a lot better with the ownership and all that. They've been backed as well, and they've been backed brilliantly. To be fair, I know there's a lot of money going on around the club, but having said that, they have progressed massively, and again. Fair play to them. I didn't think they'd get top 4 though, but I did expect them to do a lot better than the season before because, and again, with the players they all had and etc. as well. And Eddie Howe was my predicted manager of the season. And I still think to this day, he should have got manager of the season. Of course, they still gave it to Pep, didn't they?
I'd be supporting Argyle, Marcus.
Yeah.
As obviously they are our main club.
It's our local side.
And it's our local. We have to back our local.
With 2 of us being from Plymouth and one of us being from the far western tip of Cornwall. And Jacob has joined us. Hello, Jacob. If you look at the start of the stream, mate, I did do my League One reacting to my League One predictions. I had Peterborough to finish 4th. They finished 6th at the end, so I guess that's something. Then we go on to one of my stinkers for the Premier League. My 6th was West Ham, and they ended up finishing 14th. The reason being, I thought they would again be well and truly up there from the incredible season they had last time out, and with the players they had. And I knew how brilliant of a manager Moyes had been for them. But yeah, no, this was a stinker of a prediction for me. It turns out because despite winning that Conference League, the Irons have completely underperformed, in my honest opinion. Completely underperformed. Declan Rice has now gone to Arsenal, and I have no clue where I'm going to predict West Ham this season at the moment. So we'll see. But I did expect them to be up there. And yeah, I did have Brentford 19th. Now, I thought they'd suffer second season syndrome, Jacob, but I got completely proved wrong. And fair play to Thomas Frank's side because they're absolutely incredible. And again, fair play to them.
Thomas the Tank. Sorry, fine.
Eric's Thomas the Tank.
Thomas the Tank Engine. That would be a good meme to have.
That would be a brilliant meme. I might now think that as a possible meme for one of my episodes this season.
I've got a good idea for it as well.
Yeah, go on.
It was a meme of a scene in Harry Potter, and then they look behind them and say,
I think I might have seen that before on a YouTube video. It's so funny.
It just blows your ears off. You're like, oh god, no, what is that?
That's how I edit. So it's hilarious.
That'd be the type of video that you would use as well, because you love blowing people's ears off.
Oh yeah, because it's just because I know how much it winds people up. So it's just funny.
There you go.
But yeah, no, honestly, no. West Ham was a stinker of a prediction at the end. I thought they'd be all right, but they absolutely underperformed. Finishing 14th for the end. I had them 6th. Didn't quite go to plan. Then my 5th was a club I absolutely cannot stand, Spurs, who ended up finishing 8th. So a disappointing season for Tottenham, which I'm obviously delighted about from a Chelsea point of view, and I hate them. But yeah, well, the thing is,
I hate them.
The thing is, I expected, with the way they finished the season before, and I knew they had Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, and Dejan Kulusevski up front, I did expect them to have my top 4 a complete run for their money. But it didn't quite happen. Heung-min Son had, in my opinion, the worst season of his career at Spurs so far. Kane was the only one that's basically provided the goal scorings up front. But I mean, to be fair, in all honesty, personally, my player of the season for Spurs last season was Rodrigo Bentancur, but that's just me. But overall, a total...
he was injured for most of it.
But he was injured for most of it, having said that. So, yeah, that is a very good point. So, again, I could probably give it to Kane at this point. Because Kane and Haaland were, in my opinion, the 2 best strikers.
And Harry Kane also broke the record for the most goals for Tottenham.
And that as well. No, definitely. But yeah, no, I thought Tottenham would finish 5th and they finished 8th. So yeah, only 3 positions up. And then we go on to my 4th. Where do I start with Chelsea? So here we go then, guys. We might expect a rant for this bit onwards. All I'm going to say right now is that my season's been completely saved by the mighty Argyle. So that's how much of a better season it ended up being. If Argyle either bottled the league or bottled playoffs, this would have been a disastrous season for me, basically. An absolute joke of a season. But thankfully, that didn't happen.
No.
Exactly, Harvey, exactly.
No. There we go. No.
It took you 4 attempts, but hey ho, we got there eventually.
That could be a new meme in itself at this point. No.
It just slowly builds up.
You know what? Yeah. Knowing me, I might actually make that in my spare time now. But
a remix version of that.
So yeah, 4th I had Chelsea. Chelsea having the worst season in years last season in 12th place. If I want to put it this way, we couldn't score at all. That's the first thing, Ian.
The way you said that. If I want to put it this way.
Yeah, basically. That's the first thing. Hang on, I'll read this comment first. Marcus saying, I'm still shocked some idiotic fans saying Shuey out after losing against Swindon. Well, those fans can fuck off. Shuey is the right man for our club right now. Simple as that. Simple as that. It may have been a really poor performance from us, and I will accept that. But what I will say is that considering that's our only loss of pre-season, I will take it, especially when we had wins against the likes of Hearts and Blackpool. So there we go.
We melted their hearts. There we go.
Exactly, Liam, if you want to put it that way.
Basically.
But yeah, I had Chelsea to come 4th because I did not expect Thomas Tuchel to be sacked. In my opinion, the most ridiculous sacking I've ever seen. The Stamford Bridge Football Club. Oh no, in my opinion, the most ridiculous sacking I've ever seen Chelsea do in my entire existence of living. Graham Potter came in, didn't do particularly very well. There were some games, though, to be fair to him, where he had brilliant brilliant games, like that Champions League win over AC Milan. But then after when he got sacked, it got even worse when Frank Lampard was manager, which is a shame because obviously I love Lamps to bits, one of my favourite players of all time, but it was not the right decision at all. Not the right decision at all for him to come back as manager at the end. And you know what's annoying? Yeah, go on, Harvey. You know what's so annoying was that when I saw Lamps came back, I said to myself, hopefully he'll be all right. And I was happy with the appointment, but then again, I would be because it's Lampard. And
it's Lampard,
I looked at that being, if he can replicate what he did in 2019-20, I will be happy. But he did appallingly. So I knew the minute this season's about to start, a new manager needed to come in, basically.
The thing is with Lampard, he done well to start off with a derby. He done pretty well at Chelsea. Then when he went to Everton, it just went downhill from there. I don't understand why they're repointing him for the second time.
I agree, Marcus. Chelsea had a right disaster season. So, like I said, thankfully,
it's a season to forget.
Yeah,
it's a season to forget.
Genuinely, Harvey, it's the worst season I've ever seen Chelsea in my life, honestly.
Yeah,
and also I heard that it's our lowest goal tally since I think the 1920s. So that's how bad it's been.
There you go.
So there we go. So I'm just praying at least for this season an improvement. Honestly, I will say this now. I will be happy with a top 4 finish in the Premier League this season. I don't care if Chelsea don't win the league. I will be happy with at least the top 4 European finish. So I know there's some sign of improvement, and also I know how strong the competition is this season anyway.
We will try and go to a Chelsea game this season.
I will try and go to a Chelsea game this season if I can. I am thinking
because obviously I do want to explore most stadiums this season. I do want to go to loads of stadiums this season.
Yeah,
so.
and I want to bring more content out there for you guys as well. Like what Alex Griffin does with Rangers, his second favourite team, is what I want to try and produce for Chelsea if possible.
Yeah, because I would like to go. I would like to still go to. In my opinion, and this is what I want to try and do next season. I want to try and go to some either League 2 games or National League games, Premier League games as well. I was going to say, Harvey, if I were you, and same with you, Liam, if you want. If I were you, I'd sign up as members for Man United this season, just in case, if you can find a way to get tickets for Old Trafford on a day where Argyle's not playing.
Good luck.
Oh, Jesus. I wonder how much the tickets will be.
True. But there again, it's completely up to you guys.
I wonder how much the tickets will be.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
I'm going to have a look now whilst you carry on.
Yeah, fair enough. Chelsea disastrous season. I just want a better season this season. That's all I care about. Moving on to my third place, the top London club at the end, who we still call Banter FC, Arsenal. My third was Arsenal. I thought they'd have a much better season than the season before, which they did, to be fair. But I have never seen a bigger bottlers of about to win the Premier League in my entire life. Arsenal second at the end. I honestly thought they would win the league last season, all the way to March, and then it went horribly, horribly wrong for them.
Good.
£40 for a membership. Yeah, you can jog on.
Obviously, again, from a Chelsea perspective, I found it very, very funny. So I will put it that way there.
So did I.
And so did Liam. So there we go. And there's been a lot of memes I've seen about Arsenal at the end of last season, which I can't lie, I cannot stop laughing about. So there we go.
A lot of memes about Liverpool.
Oh, well, we'll get on to Liverpool in a minute because unfortunately I had them to win the league last season, but that didn't happen. And obviously, as I don't like them, I'm glad they didn't, obviously. But anyway, back to Arsenal. I had them to come third. They came second, so only one off, I guess. But I did have them to do better at least. But I didn't think they'd be challenging for the title. But they've had a brilliant season, but they bottled it in the absolute worst way possible from their point of view. I will be honest. I think I am going to miss parts of kickoff between Chelsea and Fulham for this pre-season game. But oh well, it's not the end of the world. I'll put it on my phone in the background, to be honest. Because when this stream ends, Liam and I are going to go on Discord anyway for it. Harvey, join us if you want. Basically, up to you. Yeah, so I can basically, it'll be these two having a look for 90 minutes, me crying if Fulham win 2-1 thanks to a Raul Jimenez hat-trick if that happens. Well, that depends. Well, that depends if he does win, or if Fulham do win that game. Obviously, I mean, I expect them to be up for it anyway because Chelsea's Fulham's most hated club, and it's a West London derby. So we'll see. And also, I think Fulham's a very underrated side. But I guess we'll see. I mean, the only thing I'm confident is seeing the performances against Brighton and Newcastle because I was very impressed with them. But again, we'll see. My second was Man City, who ended up winning the league at the end. Harvey, of course, will hate these predictions, seeing his two most hated Premier League clubs in the top two for my last season's predictions. Because obviously, Harvey hates City to bits. Harvey obviously absolutely freaking despises Liverpool to bits. Likewise with Liam.
I despise them both.
Yeah, no, I know how much we despise them both as well, but. I don't know. At the start of last season, I knew they were the team to beat, of course. But at the start of last season, I just thought I didn't think they'd win it 3 times in a row, like what Man United did under Sir Alex Ferguson back from 2007 to 2009. But City ended up proving me wrong on that. They have won the league again. They now look to go for a 4th one in a row, but. Again, we'll see what happens regarding all that. But again, only 1 position off, so I guess I'll take that. And then my champions last season were Liverpool, and they finished 5th at the end. And the reason why I had Klopp's side to win the league last season was because, I can't lie, I thought they'd be absolutely fine without Sadio Mane and having Luis Diaz, Mo Salah and Diogo Jota up front and signing Darwin Núñez and seeing their performance against Man City in that Community Shield last season. But Liverpool have had an absolute failure of a season as they expected to be in the Champions League, which they didn't. They finished in 5th place. They will be playing Europa League football this season. I expected them to be to either win the league or come 2nd or 3rd, but no. For Liverpool's point of view, considering the last few seasons, an absolute a disastrous season. Well, not really a disastrous season, not like Tottenham or Chelsea, but a very disappointing season for Jurgen Klopp's side. The only thing I guess, and yeah, like Marcus has said, Liverpool were bigger bottlers a few years ago when Gerrard fell over the ball in the last game. I was so happy when I saw that because I wonder who that was against Marcus. A 2-0 win for Chelsea at Anfield.
Thank
so
you.
No wonder I was very happy.
Thank you,
I was very, very, very happy with that.
You're absolutely lovely, man.
But unfortunately, Chelsea bottled it themselves that season by drawing with freaking Norwich at home. So yeah, I obviously wasn't happy, and it gave the title to Man City. But anyway, yeah, I had Liverpool. I had Liverpool to win the league. I thought they'd be fine without Mane.
And wow.
And they still had Firmino, of course. Firmino's now gone. He's left the club. But yeah, I thought Liverpool would do it, but they haven't, and they had probably their worst season since 2016. So yeah, Klopp's got a lot of work to do at the Anfield club. Now, here's the player stats I had. You can only see 2 of them there on my screen, but it's fine because I'll read it out from my notes anyway on my phone. My player of the year was Luis Diaz. That didn't happen. He got injured for last season. My golden boot was Harry Kane. So I guess I was close enough for that. Of course, golden boot was being Erling Haaland at the end. My manager of the season was Eddie Howe, which still I think he should have been manager of the season, but they gave it to Pep. In a way, it doesn't surprise me, though, to be fair, considering City won the treble, despite their amount of FFP broken rules. My most clean sheets was Alisson. Who got the most clean sheets at the end?
David De Gea.
Oh, it was De Gea at the end. So fair play to him. Again, I'm gutted for you both. That he's gone. He's gone now. I genuinely thought he'd be your new captain.
The thing is with De Gea, he was getting a lot of controversy and he was getting a lot of criticism for not being this day and age goalkeeper nowadays. He's basically all of the goalkeepers that you would expect now are the type of goalkeepers that you would expect to rush out a goal, be comfortable on the ball, good distribution from the back. De Gea, he was probably one of the best shot stoppers in the league, hands down. Simple as that.
Yeah. I agree.
But throughout the years, his distribution was not the greatest, and on the ball, he wasn't the greatest either.
Despite that, though,
he's a lot of criticism.
Despite that, though, I still think De Gea has been your greatest keeper since Peter Schmeichel, basically.
He was, yeah. But I feel like the time
even though Edwin van der Sar does give him strong competition.
Edwin van der Sar was up there as well. Was one of the best keepers.
Oh yeah. The only reason why I didn't include van der Sar at the start was because I knew how good van der Sar was at Fulham before Man United, and I still think he's Fulham. I still think he's Fulham's greatest career,
so I can't really say a lot.
Yeah, and I still think Fulham was still both his best club and also Fulham's greatest keeper in their history.
Yeah, but he was good at Ajax, so.
And he's one of Ajax's best keepers ever.
He was
as well.
part of the Ajax side that won the Champions League.
Exactly. So there we go. I mean, in terms of English football, I thought he was in his prime at Fulham and then at his peak at Man United.
Yeah. He won
He
won the double with us, so.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll read out the rest of the stats I have for the time being. The first manager sacked I had was Brendan Rodgers. I know it wasn't Tuchel, but there was someone else I think that got sacked before. Let me have a quick look. Oh, yeah, it was Scott Parker. Scott Parker was the first manager sacked.
Why? I don't know. Obviously, Bournemouth did do well without him, but I can't believe he got sacked.
Yeah, no,
lose it 9. I think it was 9-0 to Liverpool.
They lost 9-0 at Anfield. Yes,
that was stupid because obviously you were going to expect Liverpool to beat you. I know you got embarrassed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But come on, really? Stupid, honestly.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But yeah, no, what was it? I had Brendan Rodgers to get sacked first. That didn't quite happen. He did get sacked at the end, but he wasn't the first manager sacked. Leicester did give him time at the first half of the season as well, to be fair.
Oh, but they just gave him way too much time.
But I think they gave him way too much time, yeah. And my signing of the season was Gabriel Jesus, which I completely disagree with now.
He would have got the golden boot, Marcus, if he played for Man City. If he played for us, I think he would have probably been in as what we call a Man United, the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
Gets no chances in the box. Gets nothing. Gets no creations from the wide side for Man United. It's been like that for years now.
Yeah. So my predicted signing of the season was Gabriel Jesus, but in all honesty, looking back at last season, my signing of the season, I'm sorry, it's got to be Erling Haaland. I don't know anyone else. I don't know anyone else that can compete.
It has to be Erling Haaland. Everyone was saying he's going to be Darwin Núñez versus Darwin Núñez is going to be up there with Erling Haaland.
To be fair,
nowhere near Erling Haaland.
To be fair, I did expect Núñez to be up there with Haaland, but it didn't quite happen.
The thing is, with Darwin Núñez, they're two completely different players.
I agree.
Say anything else? You're looking at the. I'm gonna get the stats up now. Let me have a look.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, go for it.
Erling Haaland, 35 games, 36 more goals than games. You can't say anything else. And even 8 assists on top of that.
Yeah.
43 goal contributions in 35 games. He's disgusting.
No, definitely.
He's disgusting.
And I will put this out there now. I know I said I'll put out my predictions when I do release my Premier League predictions, and I know that'll be the following week because that's when they start. But I will put it out there on who I think the Golden Boot is going to be. I have predicted Haaland to get the Golden Boot again this season. There we go.
Why don't I seem surprised?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't I seem surprised?
Yeah, no, definitely. So that wrapped up.
Haaland's going to be up there this season. No, don't even start.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I was talking about everyone saying, Rasmus Højlund and Darwin Núñez are going to be up there. No. Just he's in his own league. Just don't even say anything. Marcus
has asked me, who do you think is the best English goalkeeper? Now, I'm very debated on that between Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale. I'm so stuck between Pope and Ramsdale. If I'd say better player overall, I'd go with Ramsdale. But if I went with the keeper that went in my team the season last season, I would have gone with Pope. But that's just me. He doesn't get in my team.
In a couple of years' time, I feel like in a couple of years' time, James Trafford will be our number one.
That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. James Trafford's got a hell of a good future ahead of him.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
He's got the perfect team to do that. Burnley, 100%.
Imagine if Argyle gets the Premier League and Michael Cooper's still there and he becomes the England number one. We'd be living the dream, boys.
That would be very, very... I'd be very surprised by that. So there you go.
Fair enough, fair enough. So I guess that wraps up the Premier League, me reacting to my Premier League predictions. I'm just quickly looking at Chelsea's lineup on my phone for the time being against Fulham for that pre-season tonight, and Fulham are playing Carlos Vinicius up front, so that's going to be one to watch because I highly rate him. As well. But anyway, I'm going to move on to my But anyway, before I do, actually, Marcus saying Parker wanted Bournemouth to overspend. Bournemouth wouldn't do that. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm now going to move on to react to my championship predictions from last season. So this is going to be very interesting.
Oh, did you end up doing League One first?
Yeah, I did League One at the beginning anyway, yeah. Because, again, this is an Argyle fan channel, so I thought it makes sense.
Oh, yeah, fair.
But do you want to, before I go on to the championship, do you want to have a quick look anyway at what I put?
Yeah. Obviously, right, I will have a look, and I've got to do some other things, so I probably won't. I'll probably have a look, and then I'll come off.
All right. Well, there you go. That's what I had for League One. I got all of the top 6 right, except for Pompey. And Barnsley, Oxford and Fleetwood were my 3 absolute stinkers of predictions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong tab. I apologise. No, it was that one. It was that one. There we go. There we go. So, yeah.
Fleetwood,
bottom, I had Fleetwood. They finished 13th. 23rd, I had Port Vale, and they survived. The only 2 I got spot on were Morecambe and Bolton.
Yep.
There were some close ones I had, though, like Aki. They were one of them.
I'm surprised you put Forest Green 20th.
Yeah, I thought Forest Green would give League One a bit of a go, and I knew they'd be in a relegation. I knew they'd be in a relegation scrap, but I thought, considering with the other teams around them, I thought they'd give it a go, and I thought there'd be others that would finally go back down to League Two.
Who did they have as their manager beforehand?
Rob Edwards. But then again, exactly. even when Rob Edwards left, and even when Nicky Cadden went to join Barnsley, I thought they would scrape survival, but they didn't at the end. They proved to be appalling.
You've got to realise as well, when you lose 2 of them players, you're asking yourself to be in a very tight situation.
I agree.
Yeah. And it's like the same with MK Dons. You can't just go into a season where you lose Scott Twine and you lose Harry Darling and then you can't replace them and you think you're going to be fine. No. You've got to replace them with players that are the same quality, and you want to start fighting for the playoffs again. And look what happened. There you go.
No, definitely. Then, Cheltenham I wasn't far off. Cambridge I wasn't far off. The Scum I wasn't far off. Lincoln, I wish I predicted higher, but
Derby was close.
Didn't quite. I was close with Derby. The one that I'm delighted with the most was Burton, because during the entire first half of the season in January, I thought, I've got Burton so wrong. And then Dino Mamria produces one of the greatest second halves of the season in League One I've ever seen.
Oh, for God's sake, Liam.
Why? What's happened?
Liam's post on Instagram. We are live on the Argyle Way.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, but spelling mistakes can happen, to be fair. You can edit that.
Damn it. It's been there for 2 hours. It's probably on Twitter. It's probably on Twitter and Facebook now as well.
And yeah, looking at the rest, Shrewsbury I wasn't too far off. Charlton I wasn't too far off. Wickham wasn't too far off.
Yeah,
Bristol Rovers were my surprise of the season, and they were hovering just below the playoffs for a bit as well. But they ended up finishing a disappointing 17th at the end. Their second half of the season being a bit of a disappointment. Then a lot of people had MK Dons to predict where I had them to then get relegated. And then, yeah, we've already spoke about Derby. The reason why I had Derby to finish 8th was because I just didn't think they'd go straight back up. I know they had brilliant signings and all that, but with the season they had the season before and how awful it was for all their supporters, of course, and the whole of English football as a whole, I just didn't think they'd go straight back up, and I thought they'd end up adjusting to another season in League One. So I guess I wasn't too far off. Oxford was a stinker. I thought they'd be up there just like us, with the way both of us missed out on playoffs in 21-22, but they only just stayed up at the end. Then I had Pompey 6th. They finished 8th. Bottlers. Bolton was spot on. Apart from that, I had them as the playoff final winners because I had it to be a Bolton-Ipswich playoff final, but didn't quite happen. Peterborough had 4th. They finished 6th. And then, yeah, the top 3, it was the top 3, just in the wrong order.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Argyle to get promoted, correct?
Oh, yeah, but it's just I thought too many people were underestimating us. And I knew we sold Kamara to Ipswich, but other than that, and the fact we signed Butcher to replace him, which I thought was a brilliant signing in itself, I was really confident in the team from the get-go. The only thing I didn't think we'd do was win the league. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
let alone 101 points.
And the way we missed out on the playoffs the season before, I genuinely thought Shuey would kick ass and want revenge. And the same with Wednesday. That's why I had Wednesday to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my League One predictions.
I'm gonna head off because I've got things to do.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Are you gonna stay on for a bit, Liam? Or are you gonna head off as well?
Is Liam here at the moment? No, Liam's not here at the moment. Please leave a message after the beep. All right, bye, Liam.
Yeah. He's removed himself anyway. Yeah.
I removed him.
Oh right.
All right, and now I'm gonna remove myself. Bye.
See you later. Right, and we're back to one again. So let me just put the background in. Not like that, stupid idiot I am. Let me just, for frick's sake. You know what? I'll try and find a way to do it if possible, but I had it working last time. Why isn't it doing it that time? There you are. Found you now. Jesus Christ. Oh, he's back. I was going to say, Liam, do you want to stay on for a bit, or are you going to head off and go on Discord?
Yeah, I'm staying on, yeah.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Marcus has asked us, what do you think of Connor Hazard? I'm just hoping he'll be a brilliant backup keeper, if you want to put it that way. I don't know. What's your thoughts on Connor Hazard, Liam?
Just before I say that, where did Harvey?
Harvey's gone. Harvey's gone. He's got other stuff to do.
Oh, fair enough. His passing needs working on personally because he almost cost us to go against Torquay.
That's very true.
And I think if that was a more stronger opposition, no disrespect to Torquay, if that was like a championship team, that would be a goal, personally.
That is a good way of putting it, to be fair.
Because if his passing needs to be better, because if we want to pass from the back, we can do, but we can't rely on it too much because championship clubs will just punish us, and we don't want that to happen.
The only thing definitely. The only thing that doesn't surprise me from that Torquay game was that I thought they'd be up for it because it was the South Devon derby. But having said that, we should have done better because, well, we're 4 leagues above them. But then again, if we were playing, I don't know, let's say we were playing someone like, I don't know, Scunthorpe and we drew or lost, I would be absolutely infuriated considering the level they're at right now and the fact that they're not even rivals of ours. So there we go. Other examples I can think of would be, I don't know, let's say Barrow, Darlington, Hartlepool. Okay, yeah, all etc. So yeah, all that really.
When they scored their equaliser, I just sat there and thought, well, they deserved that anyway. So you know.
Oh no, they did. Torquay, I thought, played really well against us.
So I wasn't really angry at the equaliser. I just thought, oh, they deserved it anyway because we was awful.
Yeah, I agree. Right, I will try and get up the what I had for the championship. If I can get that up, come on. There we go. That should do it. So we'll start from the bottom. So bottom, I had Reading. I really thought they would finally go down last season, and they
did. They did.
They did. They finished 22nd at the end. So again, that's a prediction I'll take. 23rd, I had Rotherham. I thought they'd go straight back down, but they ended up.
Fair play.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't know. I can't remember why. I can't remember why. I was again like us with League One. I was confident in their team, but then I thought I had a stinker. You know, when I saw them right at the bottom of the league at the start of the season. But then Michael Carrick came in, and now I'm even more confident with Middlesbrough this season. But I'm not going to say where I've got them because that's going to be in my championship predictions video. But I mean, what I've got at the moment for championship predictions, Liam has seen, but that still might change for the actual video itself yet. But yeah, 23rd, I had Rotherham. They finished 19th at the end. So if you want to put it this way, a successful season for Rotherham, considering their aim was to stay up anyway. And then my 22nd was Blackpool. They finished 23rd. So, again, I will take that. The fact that I've managed to get 2 relegated sides correct, I will take that any day of the week.
You've got 5 correct, by the way.
You know what? Considering that I've looked at the rest of my predictions from last season, I think the Championship might actually be my best one. My 21st was Cardiff. I had them absolutely spot on at the end. They did. Did
you do Torquay's League, by the way?
Yeah, I did do the National League. Yeah, so I will go on to that last.
Where did you put them?
All I'll say is that I had an absolute stinker for Torquay.
Oh, okay.
All I'll say is that I had an absolute stinker for the Plainmoor Club. Then who did I have 20th? 20th I had Birmingham. I thought they'd scrape survival and the terrible ownership they were in at the time. They finished 17th at the end, so only 3 positions up, but yeah, fair play to them. Then my 19th was Hull. I thought they'd struggle, but stay up, no problem. They finished 15th at the end. So, again, honestly, fair play to them. A lot of people's got them as dark horses this season as well, but I guess we'll see. Then my 18th was Wigan. I thought as League One champions and the squad they have, I thought they were going to be absolutely fine. But no, they were absolutely, in Darren and Liam's words, cack. Finishing rock bottom of the league, having a total disastrous season. Liam Richardson getting sacked right at the start of the season. No, really a season to forget for the Latics. I really thought they'd be better than that, but they weren't. They were absolutely shocking, finishing rock bottom. The only side that I got wrong that I thought would stay up, but they ended up going down because I thought Rotherham would go down, but Rotherham stayed up at the end. So yeah, no, a season to forget for Wigan. Then my 17th was West Brom, who ended up finishing 9th at the end. And to be fair, they were in the bottom half at the first half of the season. I'll tell you what, Liam, I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen a madder championship season in my life, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there were a lot of teams that were fighting for those playoffs as well. And then those same teams ended up battling for relegation at the end. But yeah, I had West Brom 17th. They finished in 9th. Then my 16th was Stoke. I got that spot on. They did finish 16th. And then my 15th was Millwall, who ended up finishing 8th. Millwall actually having a fairly decent season, to be fair. But having said that, they are my bottlers of the Championship last season because we were watching this together as well in my room at the time when they played Blackburn on the final day of the season. They were expected to get playoffs at the end, and they threw it away in the worst fashion possible. I couldn't believe it. And it basically gave playoffs at the end to both Sunderland and Coventry.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Oh, no, I couldn't believe it. I did expect Millwall to get playoffs at the end, but they didn't. They threw it away in the worst way possible. Same with Blackburn, to be fair, because they were also up there, and they both had each other on the last day. But to be fair to Millwall, despite that, still not a bad season for them. Then my 14th was Bristol City. That ended up spot on. And then my 13th was QPR, and they ended up nearly getting relegated, finishing in 20th. They are, I will say this now, they are one of my favourites to go down this season, but I won't tell you where I have got them, of course, yet. You'll find out when the video gets released. Then moving on to my 12th, the top half. My 12th was Swansea, who we like to call one half of the sheep, who ended up finishing in 10th. Not a bad season for Swansea at all, but it'll be different for them this time round because Russell Martin's now gone to Southampton, and they've now got Michael Duff to replace him for Swansea this season. Again, 2 off for Swansea, so I'll take that. And then Preston, I got 1 off, who've got the snake in charge, Ryan Lowe. Preston, I thought, would finish 11th. I thought they'd be in a comfortable mid-table. They ended up finishing 12th, so again, I'll take that. Which then moves us on to probably my stinker of the season in the Championship, Huddersfield. I had Huddersfield to finish 10th, especially that they lost the playoff final the season before, but I did not think they'd do that badly. But they did survive at the end, so fair play to them. They finished 18th at the end. Yeah, no, honestly, fair play to them for surviving at the end, but I didn't think they'd finish that low. And then my other stinker of the season was Burnley, who I had 9th, but Vincent Kompany ended up taking the Championship by absolute storm. last time out. And of course, we won't be playing the Clarets this season. They will be back in the Premier League this season. So yeah, fair play to them. Turf Moor once again hosting Premier League football. Then my 8th place was Sunderland, and I really thought they'd surprise a lot of people by coming up and all that. And I did predict them to be the best side coming up from League One, which they were at the end. And they ended up doing better than what I thought. They ended up finishing in the playoffs. They lost that playoffs, though, to Luton. So that was disappointing for them on their point of view. But to be fair to Sunderland, I did expect them to be higher. So, yeah, again, fair play to them. And, yeah, Tony Mowbray's side will be ones to watch this season. And I will say this now from an Argyle perspective. I am not looking forward to our trip to the Stadium of Light. I will tell you that now. But who knows? Who knows? Exactly. That reaction, Liam. Like I said with Watford for the start of the season, if we get a point at the Stadium of Light, I will genuinely celebrate like we've won the league. So there we go. Because I just know how much of a precious point it would be for us and how annoyed Sunderland fans will be. And especially Kyle, who will probably watch this sometime soon. Then my 7th place was Blackburn, which ended up being spot on. They, again, like Millwall, they totally bottled the playoffs. And just because he's moved there, obviously I wish him well and stuff. And for what he's done for our club and stuff. But obviously, from a competition point of view, I hope Niall Ennis has an absolute stinker of a season at Blackburn for obvious reasons why. But at the same time, I do wish him the best because of everything he's done for us. So, yeah, all that. I just hope we can find a way to replace him now. But again, I'm just glad we signed Whittaker and Mumba back. So there's that as well. Then we move on to my playoffs. My 6th was Watford. They finished in 11th. So a howler of a season for Watford. They'll want to turn that around. Then my 5th was Luton. They ended up finishing 3rd. And yeah, a brilliant season for Luton. And Luton were my predicted playoff winners. And they did win the playoff final. So that just shows that the Championship has easily been my best league for predicting stuff. And I guess I'll take that. Wait till we get to the National League. Because I think deep down that is by far the worst. Cough, cough, cough. You'll see where I've put Torquay.
Oh dear.
So yeah, basically that. But yeah, I had Luton to come fifth. When was Fleetwood in the Championship at this point? Then yeah, Luton finished 3rd. Fair play to them. And then my 4th was Coventry, who ended up finishing 5th. So yeah, again, a brilliant season for them. Okay. Here's my other stinker. I had Norwich to come 3rd, and they ended up finishing absolute mid-table 13th. I can't lie, though. I think this is a stinker for a lot of us, though, because we all know what Norwich is like between the Premier League and the Championship.
Yeah.
But, yeah, along with Huddersfield, Norwich proved to be my absolute stinker of a prediction. I predicted them to come 3rd, to only finish behind Middlesbrough and Sheffield United.
I don't
and
see...
Norwich coming 13th at the end.
I don't see Norwich going up again.
No, neither do I. Oh, yeah, as you can see there, guys, that is Liam's Championship predictions for you. So as you can see there, you got Rotherham bottom, QPR 23rd, Cardiff 22nd, Huddersfield 23rd, Hull 20th, Birmingham 19th, Come On Wednesday 18th, Swansea 17th, the mighty Plymouth Argyle 16th, Blackburn 15th, Preston 14th, Ipswich 13th, Stoke 12th, Bristol City 11th, West Brom 10th, Coventry 9th, Norwich 8th, Watford 7th, Millwall 6th, Sunderland 5th, Middlesbrough 4th, Leeds 3rd, and I know Leeds are your playoff winners as well, and then Southampton 2nd and Leicester to win the league. So basically this season, Liam has got the 3 relegated Premier League clubs to all go straight back up, which could, to be fair, potentially happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, fair play on that one. But, yeah, I will say this now. I don't see Norwich going back up either. But, again, you'll all find out where, in my Championship predictions video this week, on where I have got the Canaries with David Wagner in charge. But, yeah, Norwich and Huddersfield, my 2 stinkers of predictions. I had Norwich 3rd. They finished 13th. A very disappointing season for the East Anglia club. No explanations here. I had Sheffield United 2nd. It ended up spot on. And then I had Middlesbrough as champions, and they finished 4th. Well, you know what? I'll take that, considering I thought Borough would be up there for this season, for last season. But then again, at the start of the season, I thought it was an absolute stinker because they were in the bottom 3. And it was interesting because I thought at the start of the season I was having stinkers because I saw Middlesbrough in the bottom 3. And then you had the likes of Reading and QPR in the top 6. And I was there thinking, I've had a fucking howler, haven't I? And then Reading ended up relegated. QPR ended up just surviving. And Middlesbrough ended up coming 4th. So there we go. Been a mad championship season for sure. Which moves me on to what I had for League 2. So that's going to be interesting. I can't remember how I did for League 2, to be fair. So we're going to find out.
Probably CAC, maybe. I don't know.
Here is League 2. Well, the first one is CAC because I had Barrow to be relegated and they finished 9th. So, but Hartlepool, I got absolutely spot on, so I will take that. So yeah, Barrow having a brilliant season at the end, so that is completely wrong. 22nd, I had Rochdale, not far off to be fair. They ended up finishing rock bottom. So I guess I'll take that. And now we move on to another stinker. I had freaking Stevenage to finish 21st, and they finished in 2nd. So there we go. But I just didn't expect Stevenage to do that well this season. Again, fair play to them. And again, it's a prediction I got completely wrong. But there you are. What can you do? Stevenage, an absolute stinker of prediction. Harrogate was one of the better ones because I had them 20th and they finished 19th. So only one off there. And then my 19th was Crewe, who, of course, I had as the bottom side of the 4 teams that went down from League 1 the season before. You saw how terrible Crewe was in 21-22. I nearly had them going down again, but I just thought the squad just wasn't that good at all. Oh, and by the way, I just want to break in interruption news here. It's 1-0 to the Chelsea. Come on, the boys. Let's go. I'll just put that out there now. But anyway.
What a header.
Exactly. Thiago Silva. Absolute legend that he is there. Oh, that's what a brilliant start. I'll take that at the end of the day. Get in. As it stands, Fulham, swivel on it. I hope that doesn't jinx or I'm going to cry. But yeah, 21st I had, 19th I had Crewe. Didn't quite happen. Crewe ended up finishing in 13th place. But yeah, I expected them to do the worst out of the relegated League 1 sides. They weren't the worst at the end. The worst were Wimbledon, which I'll get on to Wimbledon in a minute. But yeah, no, Crewe ended up finishing bang on mid-table. Then 18th, I had Crawley. I thought they'd stay up, but they ended up staying up anyway, but a lot lower than what I thought. Crawley ended up finishing 22nd. A forgetful season for them, and they're going to have a really hard season this season, I feel. So we'll see. Then 17th. I was very close on this one. 17th, I had Walsall. And Walsall ended up finishing in that 16th place. So, again, fair play to them. Fair play to them. Well, fair play to me in a way, because I was nearly spot on. But not quite. Not quite. A bit of a disappointing season, to be fair, for Walsall, in all honesty. But I know they've made quite a few signings this summer. So, I wonder where they'll end up finishing. Just going to read Marcus's comments for the minute. With MK Dons, Kessler Hayden played for them when they hammered us. Yes, that is true. I think the goalkeeper who ended up replacing Coops eventually will be Zach Baker. That will be interesting. Personally, I don't see Coops going for a while unless I only see Coops leaving Argyle if we go down this season, basically. And then Wigan always push the self-obstruct button. Yeah, that is getting very true for Wigan at this point. Okay, I had another stinker here. 16th, I had Carlisle. They ended up finishing 5th and won the playoff final. Yep, as Liam just said there. But yeah, fair play to Carlisle. A brilliant season for them. The reason they were awful the season before, and I just didn't think they'd do any much better. They ended up improving, which is what I had, but I didn't think they'd end up winning the playoff final. So yeah, fair play. Hats off to Carlisle on that one. They completely proved me wrong. I had a stinker of prediction there. And then 15th, I had Salford. They ended up finishing 7th. Another disappointing prediction there. But again, I just thought they'd be bang on mid-table, but they ended up being in the playoffs towards the end. Then another disappointing prediction, 14th, I had Colchester. Before I go into this, actually, it does... Actually, yes, it does. I was going to say, I thought it didn't say who I had going up and all that, but it does, because I had Bradford to go up and win the playoff final, but that didn't happen. But yeah, 14th, I had Colchester. They ended up finishing 20th. Disastrous season for them, but I think it could be a bit different for them now that they've got Ben Garner in charge. So we'll see what happens regarding that. But yeah, I thought Colchester would be smacked in the middle of mid-table. Didn't quite happen. So yeah, they only just stayed up. Sutton, who I had 13th, I was close. They ended up finishing 14th. So I'll take that. And then another one here in 12th. 12th, I had Grimsby, and they ended up finishing 11th. Now, of course, Grimsby won the National League playoff final the season before. And I expected both Grimsby and Stockport to both do really well and surprise a lot of people, which ended up being the case in a way. But yeah, I just thought Grimsby, with their first season back in League Two, I thought they'd be bang on mid-table. But in a way, and in a way they were when they finished in 11th. So there we go. Yeah, Grimsby ended up finishing 11th at the end when I had them 12th. So I'll take that. And then another stinker of a prediction. I had Wimbledon to finish 11th. They ended up scraping survival to finish 21st, and then ended up doing the worst out of the relegated League One sides. So, yeah, a disastrous season for Wimbledon, and God knows how they're going to do the season after. We'll see. I'm pretty sure in your League Two predictions, Liam, you've got Wimbledon to only just stay up, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had. But yeah, no, Wimbledon was a stinker, and then Leyton Orient was also a stinker. I thought they'd just miss the playoffs. I thought they'd improve, but I thought they'd just miss the playoffs. And I had them 10th, and they ended up winning the league by storm. So again, fair play to them. And then my 9th was Newport. Also not the greatest of predictions, as they ended up finishing 15th. So that's 6 off there. And then my 8th was Tranmere. That's my dogs barking in the background. I don't know what for. But yeah, 8th was Tranmere. Well, I had Tranmere, sorry, to finish in 8th. They finished in 12th. So only 4 positions above. Not bad at all, I guess, but could be better. And then 7th, I had Bradford. And Bradford were my playoff winners, and they ended up finishing in 6th. So not bad at all, I guess. I mean, the rest of League Two, I just didn't get right at all. And then 6th, I had Doncaster, and they ended up finishing 18th. An awful season for them. Another side that got relegated from League One, where they ended up having an absolute disastrous season. 5th, I had Stockport. They ended up finishing 4th. A very good season back for League Two for them as well. And then 4th, I had Mansfield, and they ended up finishing 8th. So they just missed the playoffs. 4 positions.
By one goal.
Yeah, by 1 goal as well. And 4 positions off there as well. My 3rd was Gillingham. I thought they'd bounce straight back up personally, but they ended up having a really disappointing season. They were very close at times being relegated to the National League, but they ended up surviving towards the end and ended up finishing in 17th. It's actually odd because I thought Crewe would easily have the worst out of the relegated League One sides, and they ended up having the best. So there you go. And then 2nd, I had Swindon. I thought they'd be back up, but they ended up finishing 10th. A mediocre mid-table finish for them. And then I had Northampton to win the league, and they ended up finishing 3rd. So that I'll take, because I had Northampton to get promoted regardless, which they did. So that is my League Two predictions. And then, yeah, the last one of this stream tonight, we go on to the National League. So be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Because this was appalling, because Liam and everyone that's on this stream is about to find out where I put Torquay United Football Club. And there you have it. There you have it.
Well, you got 3 right.
Yeah, but I had Torquay to win the playoff final and come 2nd. How badly wrong I was.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. The thing is, I'll go on to Torquay when I do, but I'll start from the bottom. So bottom, I had York. I thought they'd go straight back down, but they didn't. They ended up staying up, finishing in 19th. Fair play to them. 23rd, I had Maidenhead. I thought it would be the year they'd finally go down. And I knew they struggled the season before. But, yeah, Maidenhead did survive themselves, to be fair, and finished in 20th. Then in 22nd, I had You Got No Fans FC, Wealdstone. And they ended up finishing in 13th, mid-table for Wealdstone. So fair play to them on that one. And then 21st, I had a club that's very close in location to Man United and Man City, and that's Altrincham. And they ended up finishing 17th. And that's the football club I will confess, is the club name I struggle with pronunciation the most. I will put that in there now.
Altrincham.
Yeah, Altrincham, actually. Yeah, that sounds better, actually. Yeah, Liam is absolutely spot on that one. But yeah, Altrincham finished 17th at the end, so only 4 off. I guess I'll take that. And then 20th, my first stinker. I had Barnet to just survive, and they ended up finishing in the playoffs in 5th. So another oh dear moment there. Barnet having a very good season, to be fair to them. So I've got to give credit to them for that. And then 19th, I had Maidstone. And the interesting thing about this is that I was even thinking about Maidstone going straight back down. They did at the end, and I went, you know what, I think they'll stay up this time. And no, they did going straight back down. So this prediction does sting me a little bit, but because I knew what I could have gone for. But there we go. I thought Maidstone would stay up, but they didn't. They ended up finishing rock bottom, a disastrous season back in the National League for them. And then my 18th was Aldershot, who I got absolutely spot on. The club I did my work experience with in 21-22 while I was studying my master's degree in Southampton. Yeah, Aldershot I got spot on. I thought they'd struggle, but I didn't think I thought they'd be too good to go down. So, yeah, fair play to them. And then 17th, I had their neighbours, Woking, which ended up being an absolute stinker because Woking ended up finishing in the playoffs in 4th. So, yeah, a brilliant season for Woking. They nearly went up to League 2, to be fair to them, but not quite at the end. That playoff final ended up being between Notts County and Chesterfield anyway. Then my 16th was Scunthorpe, who are now in the National League North. An absolute disastrous season for a club size-wise that should be in League One. But obviously, they totally deserve where they are now. Not things going absolutely appallingly at the Irons right now. Scunthorpe are relegated to the National League North. They've got a lot to work on if they want to be back in the Football League. And I will tell you that now. There's a lot going on in that football club at the moment. And I do feel sorry for them in a way. I really do. So, yeah. Moving on to 15th. 15th, I had the Southampton subordinate club, Eastleigh, who ended up finishing 9th. I've been to Eastleigh. I will confess, I've been to Eastleigh. I've been to Eastleigh for an away day. It's actually not that bad, to be honest. It was when they played Yeovil in a National League clash. Not this season, but the season before. It was very feisty and all that. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. But I thought Eastleigh wouldn't do. I thought Eastleigh would do better, but not like where they ended up finishing. So they did end up finishing 9th at the end. So yeah, again, fair play to them. And then 14th, bang on mid-table, I had Yeovil, who ended up going down to the National League South for this season. So yeah, an absolute season to forget for the Glovers. And again, like Scunthorpe, I know they've got an ownership crisis at the moment. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to be back in the Football League themselves. But they have made some good signings, to be fair to them, this summer so far. So I wouldn't put it past it if I think both Yeovil and Torquay both go straight back up this season. But we'll see. We'll see. Then my 13th is Halifax. They ended up finishing 11th. Not bad, I guess. One of my better predictions. And then my 12th was Boreham Wood, who I put bang on mid-table, who ended up finishing in 6th in the playoffs. And then we go on to 11th. I will confess this now, one of my favourite clubs in the country right now, purely because of their documentary. I absolutely love it. And that's what I based my master's degree project on. Dorking. Dorking finished in 16th at the end. I had them to finish 11th. I thought they'd surprise the National League. They ended up surviving at the end, so fair play to them. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how their new series goes on. with all that. And then my 10th was Gateshead, obviously coming up from the National League North. They took the National League North by storm in 21-22, but I had them. So that's why, again, I had them doing well in 10th place, but they finished in 14th. So I guess not bad at all. And then 9th, I had, if you're watching this, Chandler, I had his football club, Dagenham and Redbridge, a good friend of mine who worked on the turnstiles with me. A big shout out to him. He's a big Dagenham and Redbridge fan. They finished 10th at the end, so only one place off for the Daggers. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. And then 8th, I had Oldham, who I didn't think would go straight back up to League Two, and I was correct on that perspective. But Oldham finished lower than what I thought. They finished in 12th, so both a disappointing prediction and also a prediction that I'm not too fussed about. Which then moves us on to our playoff positions. 7th, I had Bromley, which was spot on. 6th, I had Solihull, who I thought would continue when they nearly went into League Two themselves the season before, who ended up finishing in 15th. So a much worse season for Solihull this time. And then my 5th was Southend, who I was very close with, to be fair. They did finish in 8th. They just missed out on the playoffs at the end. But yeah, no, considering all the trouble that's gone round Southend last season as well, it's actually been a very good season for Southend, to be honest. So yeah, fair play to them again on that one. And then 4th, I had Chesterfield, who ended up finishing 3rd. So that was close. And then 3rd, I had Notts County, who ended up finishing 2nd. So those two predictions I'm very happy with, to be fair. And then comes my prediction for Torquay. The thing is, I will say this now. So Torquay finished 11th in the season before in the National League. And the season before that, they nearly got back up to League Two to lose that penalty shootout to Hartlepool. And I really thought this time it would be their year. And I thought they'd improve on that 11th place finish. And I thought it would be I thought when they finished 11th, it was just an underperforming season for them. And I thought they'd be right back for battling for promotion to League Two again. But it ended up being an absolute disaster. Honestly, I'm shell-shocked. I'm actually shell-shocked Torquay went down, in all honesty. I really did not expect them to go down at all. And Kyle's joined the chat. Kyle has joined the chat. So yeah, no, hope you're well, my friend. And I can't wait for us lot to do a video with you, mate, when we do play Sunderland in November. So we'll be very interesting for that. I'm really excited.
Are we home first? Or
yeah, we're home. We're home first because we play them at the Stadium of Light in February.
Oh, Chelsea's on your attack.
Yeah, no, you are right.
And oh my God, he's absolutely messed it up. What an absolute!
Yeah,
clunker.
I know. I'm not happy about that one. I'll tell you
typical
that now.
Typical Enzo Fernandez is cack.
See, I have him to do better this season as well. So, God knows.
I could score that.
Yeah, I think I could have thunder buggered that with a free kick.
That's FIFA. I'd have smashed her in top corner.
Yeah. No chance for Chelsea for the time being. Torquay, I had 2nd. I thought they'd finally go back up, but no. I am again. I'm shell-shocked they've gone down and ended up finishing 21st. To be fair, they nearly did. They nearly did survive. And towards the end of the season, they were actually doing okay. But the start of the season, to put it bluntly, they were absolutely crap. Absolutely crap. And it was complete relegation form as well. So, and that's what costed them at the end. It reminds me of Morecambe in League One last season out, because their start of the season was appalling, and that's what costed them to go down in League Two, because their end of the season was strong. So yeah, that's exactly what Torquay reminds me of, to be honest, for last season. But yeah, a season to forget, and it's clear, especially with their playoff. It's clear that their pre-season game against us is clear that. That's their intentions, that they aim to go straight back up from the National League South. So we'll see what happens in that one. And then, yeah, I had Wrexham to win the league, and they did win the league. So, and that's what a lot of people had, to be honest. So there we go. I guess that's, in fact, before we go, actually, do you want to tell us, Liam, who you had to win the National League? If he's still there. Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Before I end the stream, do you want to tell me who you had winning each league from the Championship, League 1, League 2, and the National League from last season? Just out of interest, because I'm just curious to see what you had. Actually, apart from League 1, because I know you told me off camera you had Peterborough winning the league.
I think I had City to win the Prem. Championship. I can't remember. Who did I have in the Championship? I can't remember.
Fair enough.
League 1 Derby, I think.
Oh, you might have had Derby, to be fair, actually.
Who did I have in the Championship? Oh, Watford. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you had Watford winning it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Who did you have winning League 2?
Who did I put?
I mean, I had Northampton.
Yeah, I did have Northampton.
Oh, you had Northampton as well. Yeah, fair enough. And who did you have from the National League? Wrexham, same as me.
I didn't do National League.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
No.
All right then. Well, that wraps us to the end of the stream. So there we go, guys. That is me reacting to my predictions from last season, and starts off a week of predicting before everything starts all over again on Friday night between Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton. So
Wednesday?
Yeah, exactly. It's Wednesday versus Angels FC. Or
Come on, Wednesday!
You know what's interesting? Actually, you know what? We'll do this for fun very quickly. As it stands, what's your score prediction for that game? As it's the first game back.
2-0 Southampton.
Oh, okay, fair enough. See, I'm stuck between 2-1 Southampton and a 1-1 draw, but I don't know yet. If it was at St Mary's, I would have gone for a dead-on Southampton win.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I just don't think Wednesday's done well in pre-season and
done
well in the transfer window.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, there we go, guys. That is the end of the stream, and of course, for the first time now, you'll finally get to see the new ending of the channel, just like the intro, of course, as well. But yeah, that is the end of it, guys. And yeah, I will see you in the next. Come on, yes, let's go. Come on, the Blues, let's go. We'll take that. I will take that. I will take that. Anyway, yeah, I will see you. I'm really confident for Nkunku this season from a Chelsea perspective. And as you before I go, actually, guys, I think you're probably all not surprised on how Argyle and Chelsea made the thumbnail as well. So there you go.
Say again?
I was just going to say, before we go, people are probably not surprised that the thumbnail I made had Argyle for League 1 and Chelsea for the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's just typical me, isn't it? So yeah, there we go. But yeah, again, thank you all for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in either the next live stream on either this channel or the Argyle Way, or whatever my next video is for predictions. In fact, I think the next live stream will be the Huddersfield preview on the Argyle Way. I don't know which day we're doing it yet, but that's because I'm going to be speaking to a few Huddersfield fans this week about it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But Rosevere can't make it. Us two will be there. And Harvey England, well, we've got to negotiate to see if he's making it or not. So, yeah. There we go then, guys. See you all in the next video. Up the Janners, up the Argyle, up the Greens, up the Pilgrims, up the Plymouth. Come on, you boys in green. Take care, guys. Goodbye. Goodbye.
When they pull on the green, they're all Janners. Janners!